Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. It is 2:30 in the morning on Thursday. What day is today? March 20th, 3:20. March 20th, 2:30 in the morning. We're here. We're doing it. We're talking Battlehawks quarterbacks today. This will be fun. This will be fun. First things first, if you're listening to this and you want to watch it, you can. That's an option. Go to Solid Pod on YouTube. You can see it there. If you're watching it and you don't want to watch it, first of all, cool. You can listen to it, I guess, if you don't want to look at me, which sure. But it's at Solid on Apple and Spotify. You could do that. So those are two things. Also, while it's on my mind, if you want to watch me do comedy, I'm at the St. Louis Funny Bone, the Westport Funny Bone, Friday and Saturday with Vic Pandya. There's 4 shows. 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. It makes sense. Okay, you don't care about that. You don't care about that. Maybe you do care about it. If you do care about that, sick, and I appreciate it. But you care about Battlehawks quarterbacks. That's why you're here. Or maybe you don't even care about Battlehawks quarterbacks, and you're just like, what the hell's going on there? Why is AJ McCarron not playing football for me anymore? Why am I not in the same building as Katherine Webb? Why is Katherine Webb not on my TV right now? Why that's the only reason I watch these games is to get glimpses of her. First of all, you're a pervert, all right? I get it. I get why you would say that, but you're a pervert, you sicko. AJ McCarron is not the Battlehawks quarterback anymore. There's a whole thing back over like last summer, maybe it was in the fall or something like that. So first of all, like last year when he hurt his leg, it was a gnarly hurt. He had to have that tightrope surgery, and as a tightrope surgery survivor, got to tell you, not fun. That's the one where you jack up everything in your ankle real bad. And then they like drill. They put a plate in. At least for me, because I broke my fibula too. They like put a plate in, and then the tightrope part of it is where they use like some wire to like hold the 2 bones, the fibula, which is the small one on the side, not a weight bearing bone, which is why he was actually able to play with it because it's not a weight bearing bone. They hold the fibula and the tibia together with a wire because that's the best we got for something like that. They're like, you know what? Let's just put a piece of, let's straighten out a piece of chicken wire and wrap it around tight, and hey, you can walk now. So AJ McCarron had that, and he's like an old dude now somewhere. Probably should have looked up his age. No, I'm not gonna do that. But he's in his 30s somewhere. Anyway, hurt his leg, probably wasn't gonna play again. But then the Battlehawks cut him, and I said this the other day. Battlehawks cut him, but they didn't tell him that they cut him. They just like posted it, or they like told. I'm guessing they just posted it because his son found out. His like child son found out about it, and then went up to AJ and was like, "Hey, Dad, why are you not playing football anymore? Why'd you get cut? Why are you not going to tell me you got cut?" And then AJ's like, "You're actually telling me this for the first time right now." And then he got pissed off at the Battlehawks, rightfully so. And then he's like, "Yo, fuck them. I'm going to play for a different team in the UFL." And then every other team was like, "Actually, dude, you're really hurt and old. You're good, but you're really hurt. So probably not actually, we're not actually going to do that." So AJ, and then later on, his wife, Katherine Webb, went on like some podcast or something like that and was like, yeah, I think he's actually done. So AJ is not playing football anymore. So that's where we're at with that. So long gone are the days of we have this good quarterback who is going to be consistent, who's going to command the offense, not really panic and cuss out his offensive coordinator. And it's going to be a hot mic constantly. So, again, I brought this up the other day. I do the hot mic of the week during the season because it's hilarious how they just, like, let people say shit and then don't censor it at all. But AJ's not going to be that guy anymore. And it sucks because he was a good character and a good quarterback, but most importantly, a good character and is fun for content. So now here we are. The Battlehawks have 3 quarterbacks on their roster. Uh, 2 of them, sure. One of them, no thank you. And the one of them that's no thank you is the backup quarterback from last year, Manny Wilkins. Not going to talk about him a whole lot because he sucks. he's he's not good. Like if you were to like take somebody on this, if you just walk up to somebody on the street and say, what do you think a spring football quarterback is like? They would say probably a guy who doesn't have a good arm, who's really eager to run the ball, and when he runs the ball, he doesn't do it very well. He'll try to do something sick, and maybe once in a while he'll do something sick, but most of the time he does something dumb. And then you say, you actually, right there, you stranger on the street, you just described Manny Wilkins. That was perfect. Manny Wilkins is not a good quarterback. Like, even a little bit. Sure. Fast? Yeah. Arm? No. He hurdled a guy once. Yep, that's cool. Another time, he had an open field with, I can't remember, it was last season. He had some guy blocking for him in the middle of the field. He had the entire left side of the field wide open. And instead, he ran straight into the asshole of the guy blocking for him. And it's like, man, I wish that I could see what you see what you see, because if my eyes were so bad that I just thought that kind of shit was open, life would be so much easier. It's like seeing a person with no self-awareness. It's like how do you I'm envious of like the lack of accountability and care that you have for everybody around you. Manny Wilkins was like, you know what? I'm so confident I can run through that guy's asshole, through the guy that he's blocking, instead of running with like an open field. He's the exact opposite of electricity. He's like, I'm going the path of most resistance, even when I could have 15 more yards if I go literally anywhere else on the field. So Manny Wilkins sucks. That's hopefully the last I bring him up. But knowing me and knowing how this show normally goes, I'm going to bring him up probably, I don't know, 10 more times, because that's what I do. Okay. Now the actual people that we care about. I think the best way to do this is talk about the guy that I'm less excited about before the guy that I'm more excited about. The guy that I'm less excited about is Chevan Cordeiro. Chevan Cordeiro was the guy that the Battlehawks drafted in the first round, the 5th overall pick by the Battlehawks in the 2024 UFL draft. So that you can, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. That doesn't mean a lot. Like in 2023's draft, they drafted Marcel Aitman first overall. This isn't like, the best way to say it, the UFL draft is not like the NFL draft. They're kind of just guessing. Sure, they're probably a little bit better, but probably not. Well, not probably not, but maybe not. So Chevan Cordeiro was the quarterback. He spent his first 3 years of college, first 4 years of college at Hawaii. He went to St. Louis High School, which is the quarterback factory high school in Hawaii. That's the one that Marcus Mariota and Tua went to. I'm sure there's other ones that went to it as well. Probably you got to assume that Tua's little brother probably also went to the same one. But that's just a quarterback factory. So after that, Chevan went to Hawaii for 4 years. There, he was fine. His big thing is like the first time he got some like real like playing time was when my boy Cole McDonald. I should say this first. I love Hawaii football. I wouldn't watch it if it wasn't the nightcap. I love a football game that starts at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. I love Hawaii football. But anyway, I think it was in 2019. It's 2019 or 2020. Cole McDonald, who was what team was he on last year for in the UFL? He was one of the UFL quarterbacks last year or the year before that. Love the guy. He like ended up being shitty at the end of one game, and they put in Chevin Cordero, and he won the whole. It was like the team's senior night. It was the last game of the season. Came in, won the game. Pretty much, he only really had two full years of playing there. Let's see, in 2018, yeah, he only started one game. 2019 started one game. He played 16 games in his first 2 years, which it's kind of like one full season in 2019, but he was not a starter. He was a starter in 2020 and 2021. In 2020, he had his best completion percentage in his college career. He had a 62.3 completion percentage. You know, that's probably the more important number with this rather than like the passing yardage and stuff like that, because it's Hawaii. We're not exactly talking about the like powerhouse offense, especially when Hawaii's kind of like going through a rebuild. That's kind of when they started. It was during the pandy. In 2020, they started their rebuild. Anyway, so yeah, the 62.3 completion percentage, that's kind of the more important thing here. He's not throwing to like guys with great hands or anything like that, or burners down the field or anything like that. That being said, kind of his whole story is, especially given that it was the Rainbow Warriors, Hawaii's the Rainbow Warriors. That man can throw a goddamn rainbow. He throws a moonball. He is good at launching the ball downfield to big receivers, which I imagine, if and when we do see him this season, I would reckon that he hits Hakeem Butler on a big time throw downfield. That's what I imagine. I should also say this I should have said this before I got into it. With AJ McCarron being the quarterback, Battlehawks really only had one, except for when I'm bringing him up. Manny Wilkins came in, but that was only because AJ McCarron was hurt. A lot of times with these UFL teams, that they're kind of going through different quarterbacks. Like even the Birmingham Stallions, they were kind of about halfway through the season. They were kind of doing every other game between their two quarterbacks. And I imagine that the Battlehawks it's not going to be like Chevron Cordero or Max Duggan taking the starting position and just kind of going with it the entire season. I imagine we're going to see both of these guys. I don't want to say a healthy amount, but a decent amount through the season. Anyway, going back to Chevin Cordero, 2021, he's having a real bad time playing football. He just like stopped liking football. Let me see if I can get this quote. And then he transferred to San Jose State University. His quote was, when I came from Hawaii to San Jose State, I was in a bad place, and mentally I didn't really like football. When I got here, the whole team took me in, a brother already the first day I got there, and I'm forever grateful. It doesn't really matter about the wins and losses. It does. The love of the game, I found that again, and that's what I'll remember for the rest of my life. So that's good. I'm glad that he went to go to a new place, new environment, new team. Everybody took him in. Goes to San Jose State. That first year at San Jose State, that's when he had the most yardage that he's thrown. Which, to be fair, in San Jose State, while it is still the Mountain West Conference and is not exactly playing against the best defenses or anything like that, he threw for 3,251 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's another good thing about about this cat. He protects the ball. He doesn't. While he does do those moonshots, I mean, a moonshot, it's not exactly like it's a easily interceptable ball if thrown well, and he can throw it decently well. Everything else is there's a reason that he's on a Battlehawks. So dude can throw deep. I'll say that he's got the arm to be able to throw deep. That's kind of it for him. I know he holds the record for what the hell is it? He holds one of the Mountain West records for like completion percentage, or I think it's actually just completions. Yeah, he holds the Mountain West record for completions because Hawaii and San Jose State are in the Mountain West. 971 completions through his 5 years in college. Again, only 4 of those being starting years. So I don't know. I'm not exactly trying to make an assessment until I actually see him play on this team. Went to, he left college in 2023, went undrafted, got picked up by the Seahawks on their practice squad as an undrafted free agent, and then let's see, when did they cut him? Signed with the Seahawks, and on April 27th, and then released on May 8th. So he was just a body for them in their OTAs. That's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on with Chevron Cordero. Maybe he'll be good in this kind of an offense. I mean, at least he's a name. And again, as a Hawaii football watching guy, and pretty much just Mountain West because they start so late, I recognize him. I can't imagine you will. I don't know. Doesn't do a whole lot for me. But that is where Max Duggan comes in. I like a Max Duggan. Max Duggan he's a fun football player. Okay, so Max Duggan, let's see, how old is Max Duggan? I believe he is 20. Yeah, so he's 24 years old. Okay, and which is kind of tricky because if you go to the Battlehawks roster page on their website, it says that he has him listed as 25 years old. And also, depending on where you look, Max Duggan is either 6 feet tall or 6'1". I don't know. Kind of weird. Seems like we should just have that fleshed out. Okay, but 24 years old. Call it 6'1", just to give him the benefit of the doubt. Very plain looking face on Max Duggan. 200 pounds. Spent all 4 years of college at TCU. All right. Dude has a hell of a story. The dude has a hell of a story. All right, so he played as a true freshman, then going into the 2020 season, because with the pandemic, they had to do a whole lot more medical stuff. They were screening him for some medical stuff, and then they found out that he had some like rare heart condition that like messed with like the electrical part of your heart, like not the muscle part, but the electric part of your heart, which I totally forgot that hearts are electric, but they are. Gonna try not to focus on that because that's just gonna rattle me. I don't understand hearts. Anyway, he had this heart condition. They operated on him. It ended up being a 9-hour surgery, like an entire workday surgery, 9-hour surgery. They fix it. All right, they fix. I'm not going to think about it, but they fixed the electric part of his heart, throw in a battery, some Tony Stark shit. They're just like, all right, heart's good. You're totally fine. 2 days later, goes back to the hospital with a blood clot. They had to do emergency surgery on him. All right. Not good. That being said, after that, he went on to play 10 games in that season. Dude just gets gets heart surgery to fix the part of the heart that, natural selection would say probably don't fix that part because that's like, I don't know if it's genetic. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there because I'm not a doctor. I want to go there, but I'm not going to go there because I'm not a doctor. Anyway, plays the 2020 season, does pretty well. Does really well. His freshman year, he had a 53.4 completion percentage. His sophomore year, after he gets his heart cut open, 60.8. Like, that's a huge jump. That's a 7.4% jump, or 7.4 percentage point jump. Like, that's a big jump. So his freshman year, 15 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That is the most interceptions that he has thrown in his college career. The guy, he also very good at taking care of the ball. In 2020, again, going to his sophomore year, the open heart year, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Going into 2021, not a great year for him. There was a game where he ended up playing on a leg. He had a broken bone in his foot and torn ligaments. I don't know if that was one of them tightrope surgery kind of things. But he played a game with a broken foot and torn ligaments. The dude's a dog. The guy's an animal. Like he like, there's a whole thing with people didn't know like if his foot was actually fucked up because he wasn't wearing a boot when he was on campus. And then he went on later to say that he didn't wear a boot on campus because he didn't want pictures to be taken of him in a boot, which, listen, as a vain person, I respect the hell out of that. Don't Don't. Hey, it's now you got shoes. You got shoes to wear. We can't be bothered with some moon boot. All right, we can't. You're gonna get pictures taken of you. You know that. You don't want to be forced to have a pimp walk. You just want to do your pimp walk yourself. So I don't know. Seems dumb to not wear a boot, but that's what he did. Anyway, that 2021 season, he had a 63.9% completion percentage, so that's another big jump. So in 2 years, he went from 53.4 to 63.9. That was the high of his career. That year, he threw for 2,048 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Still a good ratio there. And then comes the 2022 season. All right, they had a quarterback battle at TCU between him and Chandler Morris. Max Duggan lost that QB battle. He lost that QB battle. Okay, they're playing their first game. So he started that season as QB2. Okay, third quarter of the first game, Chandler Morris jacks up his knee. Something fierce. He's toast. He's done for. Okay, they are playing. Who were they playing in that game? Am I able to see that? Does it actually matter? It doesn't really matter. Anyway, the starting quarterback jacks up his knee. Max Duggan comes in the third quarter, cold, ends up leading 2 touchdown drives, pulls away. TCU ends up winning 38-13. So Max Duggan's like, you know what? I didn't win the starting quarterback job. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna win the game. And that was kind of the start of something absolutely fucking crazy happening. All right, because TCU that year, they went 12-0 in the regular season. Max Duggan, unbelievable, 63.7% completion percentage, blew his records out of the water. 3,698 passing yards. Again, the year before that, 2,048, up to 3,698. What is that, 1,600 yards more? That's something. That's pretty impressive. That's a pretty impressive thing that he did there. But his touchdowns, he threw 32 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. The guy, that's wild. He went from 16 touchdowns and 6 interceptions to 32 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And keep this in mind, that year that he had the 2021 when he had the six interceptions, he threw the ball 227 times total that year. 227 times total that year. In 2022, he had 267 completions. So he had more completions in 2022 than he did in 2021 attempts. So in 2022, he had 419 attempts, 267 completions, I'll call it 3,700 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. It was an unbelievable season. That year, he ended up winning the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, the Davey O'Brien Award, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, and I said this the other day. I believe Davey O'Brien, by the way, is like best college athlete. Let me see if I can look that up. I'm assuming the Johnny Unitas Award, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award, is probably best quarterback. I'm looking up the Davey O'Brien Award. It's another quarterback award. So yeah, that's what that one is. That's the best quarterback in college. That's what the Davey O'Brien Award is. So the guy's winning all these awards, ends up becoming the runner-up for the Heisman behind Caleb Williams, who had an incredible year. He deserved to win that. But Max Duggan is playing wild. So come to the Big 12 championship game. Okay. It is the 12-0 TCU Horned Frogs, and they're playing Kansas State. This is the game. This is the one game not the one game because they lost another game, but they ended up losing this game. But in this game, Max Duggan. Okay, so it ended up going to overtime. Their only loss in the regular season, and it was in the championship game, in overtime. And the Horned Frogs are down. Let's see what they were down, because it was unbelievable. You want to Google Max Duggan K-State drive. If you Google that, you will find this. because what Max Duggan did on this drive, he owned it. He owned it. Okay. It was an 80-yard drive, okay, but he ran the ball 15 yards, 13 yards, 19 yards, 40 yards, and 8 yards for the touchdown. And if that math doesn't add up to that 80 yards, that's because it doesn't. Dude ran the ball 95 yards because of penalties and yardage that he lost with like throws that got for a tackle for a loss. The dude was an animal on this drive. He's just running at the 40-yard one. He takes off the defense, doesn't even know where he is. And he's quick, man. He's quick. He can run the ball, and he's a tank. Man, the guy was getting absolutely annihilated all game. And this is the last drive of what is it, of regulation time, okay? And he's just getting hammered all game. He ends up running the ball 95 yards on one drive, which is unbelievable. Gets down, 8-yard run into the end zone. Dude just collapses in the end zone. It's like, what? How does that? And then he ends up throwing the 2-point conversion, like after he collapsed. It was unbelievable. Google Max Duggan, K-State, or Max Duggan Big 12 championship drive. And it's awesome. The guy is unbelievable in that. So they lose that game. They lose that game in overtime. They go on to make the college football playoff, which at that point was just the 4 teams. They play Michigan in the first game. They end up beating Michigan 51-45. Max didn't have like a tremendous game or anything like that. I'm pulling up the box score right now. He was 14 for 29, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It wasn't a tremendous game from him at any point there. But they score. They win 51-45 to make it onto the national championship. And this is kind of where everything went really shitty, because we get to the national championship, and this is unfortunate because this is the last time that we've seen Max Duggan play football. If you remember this, this is the worst national championship probably in the history of time. Maybe one of the worst meaningful football games in the history of time. Georgia ended up beating the absolute dick. They grabbed Max Duggan by the dick and tore it out from the root. Georgia won 65-7. Not good. Very, very, very much not good. And for that to be the last time, it sucks that that's the last time that we saw Max, because that's what we remember him by. I don't know, man. It was just brutal. In that game, TCU was 2 for 11 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth down. They had a total of 188 yards of offense to Georgia's 589. So it's like not completely Max Duggan's fault. It's definitely not Max Duggan's fault that Georgia scored 65 points. Because the defense has to show up. And to be fair, that 2022 Georgia defense, that's like the best defense in the history of college football. So Max didn't stand a goddamn chance. Which is an important thing to remember. So it sucks that that's the last time that we saw him play. But man, that's kind of what we have to go on there. In that game, he was 14 for 22, 152 yards, and 2 interceptions. It's just not good, okay? So after that, he enters the draft. Chargers pick him with the 7th, as a 7th round pick. He was picked 239 by the Chargers. Goes onto their practice squad, kind of does. So this is the year that Justin Herbert got hurt. And doing that, they're kind of activating Max Duggan to be the 3rd quarterback. They deactivate him, put him back on the practice squad. They keep doing this whole thing. Never gets any playing time. He never got any playing time, even though Easton Stick, who was the 2nd string quarterback, he sucked. He was dog shit that year. He lost 5 straight games, which are the 5 games that he played, that Justin Herbert was hurt for. He lost all 5 of those games. He never scored more than 22, or the Chargers never scored more than 22 points in any of those games, and Max Duggan still couldn't get on the field. And even in that game where they scored 22 points, the Chargers just had 1 touchdown and 5 field goals. So not good. And then the other game, that they scored 21 points in a different game with Easton Stick. But if you remember, that was the game where the Raiders scored like 60 plus points against them. So it's not like the Raiders even had out their first string defense. Not that their first string defense and their second string defense is too different. But yeah, no, it was like that. That's kind of the problem here. Is Max Duggan bad, or were the Chargers tanking? Are the Chargers dumb? Again, or is Max Duggan bad? The thing to remember here is that in this season, Brandon Staley got fired in the season, and then they had, and I totally forgot about this, Giff Smith, Giff Smith, Giff Smith, not a good name. Not, you would think that if your name is Giff, you pretty much just exclude yourself, or you're taken out of contention for any kind of coaching job. But the Chargers, they made Giff Smith their interim, and he was like a linebackers coach, I believe. Because they fired Brandon Staley and their GM at the same time. They just like, fuck it, let's put a goddamn linebackers coach, make him the interim head coach. Giff Smith doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Maybe, I don't know. It's just there's so many variables in the lack of Max Duggan playing time that we don't know what the fuck is going on. Then he gets released in August of 2024 after is that Jim Harbaugh gets hired to be the Chargers head coach. Keep in mind, Harbaugh was Michigan's head coach when Max Duggan beat him. I don't think that means anything. It seems like Harbaugh is just the kind of guy to like football players. But he did get cut in August of 2024, and then picked up by the Battehawks in December. And that's where we are with Max Duggan. Dude's a great story. Dude's a tank. I don't know. I like Max Duggan over Chevin Cordero. That's just me. I would like to see how they play, and we're going to be able to see how both of them play and be able to actually compare that and everything. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the quarterbacks. I think I did a good job. Manny Wilkins, dog shit. Max Duggan, potentially good. He'll be fun. That's for sure. Again, Max Duggan, Big 10 or Big 12 championship drive. Google that and and it's a fun watch. It's like a 4-minute video of them cutting it up. It's a fun. The guy's a tank. Guy's a tank. And then Chevin Cordero is kind of not a whole lot for me. But yeah, that's where we're at with the quarterbacks. Hopefully I introduced them to you a little bit. We'll be able to kind of assess how they do when we actually see how they do. It is now 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm a sleepy boy. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys again for watching whatever the hell this is. Solid. I appreciate you. I'll be back later on, maybe tomorrow, maybe on Friday, I'll probably lump together the running backs and the wide receivers and maybe do the offensive line too, depending on what I have the energy for. But I'll get all that stuff to you, kind of introduce you guys, let you know what we got going on with this team. Again, thank you for watching. You want to see me do comedy, you got that option. You don't want to watch me at all, and you just want to listen to this, you got that option. If you are listening to this and you're like, hey, what does this clown look like at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you can watch it if that's how you're feeling. But anyway, I'm out. Go Birds, go Iron Birds, go Battlehawks. Anything that you say to anybody ever, they're going to be like, oh, that's a Battlehawks guy. That's like I went to the grocery store. Was that on like Wednesday? I think I went to the grocery store. Maybe it was on Thursday. I went to the grocery store and I saw Glenn Zimmerman, the weather guy there. I said, "Hey, Glenn," and he turned around and looked at me, and then kind of like walked away. But I knew in his head that he was like, "Oh, that guy just likes the Battlehawks. That's why he said something." Okay, thank you guys. I'll talk to you later. How do I turn this off?